This is going to be a longer one. The Roots of Black Lives Matter Unveiled. Okay. This is from World News Daily. Very, 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 very right-wing blog. Okay. Not quite alt-right, but pretty close. But, they have information. So anything that's in here, in this particular one, take it with a dose of salt. Okay. It's going to give you clues, but the thing is, all clues have to be vetted. And I haven't had time to vet all the different organizations and track all the different iterations of who belongs to who and what. So take it with a grain of salt. So you pro-blacks that are behind Black Lives Matter, this is just information. You can take it or leave it. Well, anyway, the Roots of Black Lives Matter Unveiled. And this is actually collected this same time, August 30th, 2016, but it's published on their website, January 16th, 2016. Special reports reveals stunner, except for website, there is no actual organization. The Black Lives Matter movement cast itself as a spontaneous uprising born of inner city frustration, but is in fact the latest and most dangerous face of a web of well-funded communist socialist organizations that have been agitating America for a decade. The agitation has provoked police killings and other violence. I don't know about that. Lawlessness and unrest in the minority communities throughout the U.S. They think it's the white men behind Black Lives Matter. And, there's money behind them, so we don't know. If allowed to continue, that agitation could devolve into anarchy and civil war. 4 years ago, I would have said no. But with COVID and all the unrest, they may have been a little prescient. It's hard to disagree with them now. The BLM crowd appears to spoiling for just such an outcome. Nevertheless, BLM appears to be exercising considerable leverage over the Democratic Party, in part by pressuring and intimidating Democratic candidates such as Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders into embracing their cause. I think that's theater. The movement could also assist President Obama's exploitation of racial divisions in society beyond his final term in office. Don't know about that. This report examines in detail for the first time how communist groups have manipulated the cause of Black Lives Matter and how money from liberal foundations has made it all possible. Leftist origins. Exploiting blacks to promote Marxist revolution is an old tactic. The late Larry Graithwall, former FBI informant in the Weather Underground, understood from personal experience how white communists exploited blacks and other minority groups. He said that the Weather Underground terrorists Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dohrn regarded Barack Obama, whose political career they sponsored, as a tool, as a puppet. That's bullshit. It was actually the British Crown that actually sponsored it. Obama's legacy at home will certainly include more racial division. Okay, we'll see. BLM launched in 2013 with a Twitter hashtag, Black Lives Matter, after neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman was acquitted in the Trayvon Martin killing. Radical leftist Alicia Garza, these are the three girls, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tometi claimed credit for the slogan and hashtag. Following the Michael Brown shooting in August 2014, Dream Defenders, an organization led by Working Families Party, Acorn activists, and Occupy Wall Street anarchists, Nalini Stamp popularized the phrase "hands up, don't shoot," which has since become BLM's recognized slogan. Garza, Cullors, and Tometi all work for front groups of the Freedom Road Socialist Organization. I haven't checked that out, but that is something that we probably need to look at. FRSO, one of the 4 largest radical left organizations in the country. The others are Communist Party USA, Democratic Socialists of America, and the Committees of Correspondence for Democracy and Socialism. Nalini Stamp's Acorn, now rebranded under a variety of different names, works with all 4 organizations, and the Dream Defenders is backed by Service Employees International, SEIU, and the ACLU, Southern Poverty Law Centers, and others. FRSO is a hereditary descendant of the new communist movement, which was inspired by Mao and many communist revolutions throughout the world, in the 1960s and 1970s. FRSO split into two separate groups in 1999. FRSO Fight Back and FRSO OSCL, Freedom Road Socialist Organizations and Organization Socialista del Camino. Black Lives Matter and its founders are allied with the latter group. Future references to FRSO in this article refer to FRSO OSCL, in other words, that one. FRSO is comprised of dozens of groups. The radical left model is based on alliances of many organizations that are working on separate issues but dedicated to ultimately to the same thing, overthrowing our society in order to replace it with hardcore socialist communist one. I told you this is right wing, so gotta be careful. The goal is to present the appearance of a formidable mass of organizations. Some are large, but many are little more than a website or a Facebook page. When necessary, they can all come together to promote the cause du jour. The deaths of Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and others were mere pretext for socialist agitation. The real enemy is the system. This is why the BLM crowd denies the facts of those cases. As Stamp has said, we're actually trying to change the capitalist system we have today because it's not working for any of us. This is actually, BS, because they were actually buying the line. This is actually, in my opinion, a political organization to put people in power with a certain agenda. Soros might be a leftist, but Soros is part of the system. BLM is one of the many projects undertaken by the FRSO. Except for the website Black Lives Matter, there is no actual organization. At least there wasn't before. This is 2016. The website implicitly acknowledges this, describing the hashtag Black Lives Matter as an online forum intended to build connections between black people and our allies to fight anti-black racism and to spark dialogue among black people and to facilitate the types of connections necessary to encourage social action and engagement. When people said you can't do anything online, Black Lives Matter shows you that you can. FRSO membership is disproportionately represented by blacks, gays, and women, and self-consciously emphasizes those issues. Garza, who penned her story of the BLM, is a queer black veteran activist involved in numerous FRSO organizations. Her resume includes Special Projects Director, National Domestic Women's Workers Alliance. Okay, she's deep. Executive Director, People Organized to Win Employment Rights. Board Member, School of Unity and Liberation, Soul. 2011, Right to City Alliance. Board Member, Board Chair. In other words, she's been doing this a long time. Coolidge describes herself as a working-class queer black woman. She claims the country killed her father, a drug addict. At a 2015 Netroots Nation conference, Coolidge led chants shouting, "If I die in police custody, burn everything down. Rise the fuck up. The only other way motherfuckers like you will listen." Coolidge founded and directs Dignity and Power Now, which claims to seek dignity and power of incarcerated people. So she is a very, very widely active SJW. Secureless was trained by Eric Mann, former Weather Underground leader who exhorts followers to become anti-racist, anti-imperialist activists. Mann runs another FRSO front, the Labor Community Strategic Center. Like most professional leftists, he makes good money, over $225,000 annually, living in the system he advocates destroying. Tomedi is the daughter of illegal aliens from Nigeria. While in college, she worked for the ACLU, defending legal immigrants, aliens against vigilantes opposed to illegal immigration. She is currently the executive director of the Black Alliance for Just Immigration. Oh, they have all kinds of stuff, right? Okay, this is the funding. This is going to be long. The funding. FRSO BLM organizations are generously supported by a universe of wealthy foundations. Some, like those employing BLM founders Garza and Tomedi, receive money directly. Others, like Coolidge's DPN, are financed by organizations designed specifically to underwrite the activities of others. Amount reflect donations received over approximately the past decade. NDWA, which is Garza, 2013 revenues were $5.5 million. Includes 2 members of Casa de Maryland, illegal version of Acorn. Casa also received grants from NDWA in 2013, did not, as did the Radical Left Institute for Policies. Okay, these are the following donors, NDWA donors. Total $6,120,000. And this is, and she works for, Garza actually works for these people. This is another one, $3 million. Power and Garza 2013 revenues were $456,000, including $92,000 in government grants. Power evolved from a now defunct communist group, Storm, standing together to organize a revolutionary movement. Obama's former Green Job czar, the self-described communist Van Jones, served on Storm's board. These are Garza. That's a lot of money, man, that's been thrown around. Soul, remember Soul that Garza worked for? Despite its small size, in 2013 revenues at $110,000, Soul claims to have trained 679 organizers in 2013. Look at these people. Akandi, Hines, Hillsnow, Rockefeller, San Francisco. In other words, yeah, okay. These people are not as left as you think they are. Okay, we're going to skip past this. Colors DPN is underwritten by Community Partners, a Los Angeles-based nonprofit with $24 million budget. These people are not broke. The Advancement Project, FRSO group that funds a variety of radical causes. AP sees America as racist, oppressive nation, and according to Discover the Networks, works to organize communities of color. It's underwritten in revenues were $11.3 million. These are not grassroots organizations. There's a Ford again. Look at this. Hewlett Packard, Kellogg, Rockefeller, Soros funds. Look at that, man. The Vanguard, they claim that they're leftists. Look at all this money. Look at all this money. Mainstream funders have helped fund BLM as well. For example, United Way has partnered with A&E and iHeartMedia to create Shining the Light Advisors, committee of nationally known experts and leaders in racial and social justice. You guys can actually look at this, man. Black liberation. FRSO OSCL banner at Ferguson. It's not what you think, okay? I was wondering why all these white people actually wound up in Ferguson. BLM's mission includes a kitchen sink of favorite radical left causes, including support of poverty elimination programs, prison and deindustrialization. I don't have any problems with any of this stuff. Highlighting FRSO's orientation toward gay blacks, it describes how black, queer, and trans folks bear a unique burden from the hetero-patriarchal society that disposes of us like garbage, simultaneously fetishizes us, and profits off of us. And that is state violence. And that is state violence. Not shooting you in the back of the head. It's a wide network of affiliates, partner organizations such as CPUSA and Acorn allows BLM to turn out large crowds. Interesting. Many participate to simply protest, commit violence, loot, or all three. What we're seeing out there now. FRSO was prominent in Ferguson protests and videoed the event. It has even created a Black Lives Matter button. Following are more FRSO organizations involved with BLM. Funding estimates provided when known. Black Left Unity, Black Workers for Justice, Causa Justa, Just Cause, a Black Latina Solidarity Group allied with Grassroots Global Justice Alliance, RTTC. Its 2013 revenues were $1.6 million, including $689,000 in government grants. Grassroots Global Justice Alliance, Hands Up United, Intelligent Mischief, Organization for Black Struggle, Revolutionary Student Coordinating Committee. In other words, these are all different groups showing up for racial justice, strategic concepts, organizing and policy education. Yeah. Look at all this money. Scope Foundation donors. Carnegie, Ford, Haas, Hewlett, Open Society, Rockefeller, Tide, yeah. BLM groups have also joined with CPUSA, CCDs, DSA, SEIU, Color of Change, and many other anarchists and top OWS organizer Lisa Fithian, who orchestrated the 1999 Seattle World Trade Organization riots. Trained Ferguson protesters, Fithian says, create crisis because crisis is that edge where change is possible. Chaos is a ladder. Let's skip down. Look at all those faces. Those not all black people. Here's something. Interestingly, Moore doesn't believe in socialism when it is footing the bill. Moore promised to pay Ferguson protesters $5,000 a month to hang out and cause trouble, but Acorn stiffed its employees while preaching socialist generosity. So now they promised the money but stiffed them. I was wondering why all these white people showed up. Islamist organization has also jumped in on the BLM bandwagon, reminding us of the unholy alliance. Okay, we have to see about that. I have to tell you, this WND is very, very right wing. Skip down. Gotta remember, this is very, very right wing. All right. The Black Lives Matter movement carries this narrative to unprecedented heights, claiming that only whites can be racist. And while justifying violence to achieve social justice, the movement's goal is to overthrow our society and replace it with a Marxist one. I doubt that. Many members of the black community would be shocked to learn the intellectual godfathers of this movement are mostly white communists. Now, I would not be shocked. White communists, queers, and leftist Democrats, intent on making blacks into cannon fodder for the revolution. I agree with that. I agree with that. Let us even underline that. The intellectual godfathers of this movement are mostly white communists, queers, leftist Democrats, intent on making blacks into cannon fodder for the revolution. Amen. That is the end of the article. Now, anything else you want to read from this, I'll put the link in the description. But that is the 2 long articles of BLM and their funding. While I don't advocate for them and I don't trust them, we still have to do our due diligence when we actually investigate these people. This is a very, very far right observation. But the thing is, even people you don't like can tell you some truth. There's always a kernel of truth in everything. Why this is definitely slanted. It does point to some names, and if these connections are true, then we have to look at BLM with a side eye. Not that we don't already do. But that's going to wrap up this particular presentation. Take from it what you will. I got about 4 or 5 more, man. I'm not going to go through them right now, but I might revisit this later. Do a couple more, but we'll see. Well, with that, I'm going to jump off of it right now. This is BGS out, and I will see you guys on the next one.